I can do that. Hey, Ezzy, I'm just curious with half of your team going to the Olympics, is it easier in a sense because so many of you guys are going through the same thing and it's not like just the one or two, but it's more like this again, half of your team is doing this.
Yeah, I think it kind of makes it a little bit easier. I think in terms of just preparation as well, like we're still in the middle of a season, so our focus is on um, the season at the moment. So I think just having the same mindset as everyone else kind of helps. And obviously, playing at the games and then obviously coming back as well. We're all, going through the same experience. So I definitely think it helps as well.
With 6 games left until the break, do you find yourself maybe peeking forward to that break or just like how much do you just have to focus on just these next 6 games and then you've got this like 5-week break here?
I think it's really important to just focus on these next few games. I think, Noe, she's always saying that it is an important stretch of games, which it is. The game against Vegas is huge for us. So I think, even though Olympics is right around the corner, I think it's really important to just, focus in on these next few games.
And this game is like big for what reasons? I mean, like I can think of it, but just from like your perspective, how come this game on Sunday is a big game?
I think I think the scheme of things, obviously it's better to hold, have the split over, any team. Obviously it's 1-1 with Vegas. But yeah, I think they're just a great team to play against. So it's just going to be, big for us to kind of back up after our loss against Washington as well. So yeah, I guess just a big game all around.
And does that cup thing sort of jump into play for you at all? Like, have you, obviously it's the first year of it. We talked at the beginning of the season about the cup stuff. Now that we're a little bit into it, we can kind of see the standings some. Just from do you find yourself watching the standings knowing that, let's say with Vegas, they play tonight, it's a cup game. Do you know that? And are you going to watch the games or see how things go that way?
Not necessarily from like a cup perspective. I think, I watch the games like if they're on TV and if I, have time to, so that's exciting. But I think I just focus on our games in terms of the Commissioner's Cup. I think everyone's pretty excited. It's a new thing in the league. So yeah, it's a big thing, but just focusing on our games.
I hear you. Okay. All right, Ezzy. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Percy. Let's go over to Shai. Go ahead, Shai.
Hello, Ezzy. Australian players always have this fighting spirit, this feisty approach of the game. Where does it come from, according to you? And do you think it could be maybe the key to beat Team USA at the Olympics?
Yeah, I think it's just, I guess, the culture that we, play in. And I think growing up, that's kind of how we play as Victorians, as South Australians, kind of all over the country, I guess. And I think that transfers over into international tournaments. I think just, being an Australian team, I guess like no one knows a lot about us and we do, come play against the Europeans, against the Americans. So I think just having that fight kind of gives us that extra edge against teams at times. But yeah, in terms of the Olympics, I think it's going to be important. Obviously, there's great talent in, the countries that we are playing against. So I think it's definitely going to be needed.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Let's go to Christos. Go ahead, Christos.
Hello, Ezzy. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. For you personally, what type of challenges are those matchups against Liz, against Asia, and how you prepare yourself for that?
I think obviously Liz and Asia, they're just, they're great basketball players. They have a huge offensive and defensive presence. So I think just going into the mindset of being able to kind of counter that at times, and it's hard to defend them both, but I think just if you kind of do your job early on them, then the rest of my team kind of has our backs, or whoever's guarding them at that point. I think it does definitely take a team effort to guard them both. But yeah, it's exciting to play against them on Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And M. Adler, go ahead, M.
Hi, good afternoon. Just wanted to ask, looking ahead to the Aces, from Asia to Liz to Hamby to Park, how do you have to adjust your attention or focus on both sides of the court, depending on the Aces combo in their lineup?
I think, we do a pretty good job of matching up against them. I think, obviously Sadie's and Stewie, they start off the game really well. I think, when I do come in, I kind of need to bring, a bit more energy and kind of do what the starters are doing, just so, they can obviously have a break. But yeah, they have great bigs in Jisoo and, Hamby as well, who, goes over to the 3 as well sometimes. So I think it's just important to know individual tendencies. But like I said earlier, it takes a team to kind of defend the aces. So just knowing that we have each other's backs.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Em. And let's go over to Holly Rowe. Holly, go ahead.
Hey, I just had 2 quick questions. One, I feel like sometimes what's preventing you from staying on the floor more is foul issues. Have you worked on your defense without fouling, or is this game a little different than in Australia, or how is that impacting you this season?
Yeah, definitely. I think, I need to get better at not fouling when I do go on the court. I think it comes with experience too, and just knowing individual tendencies, like I said earlier. But yeah, it's something that, I just need to get better at. And so I, can give Sadie's and Stewie that rest. But yeah, just still working on it.
Still working. Okay. And then do you know, I'm sorry, I joined a little late, but do you know your schedule for Team Australia, like when you have to report, what your first part of training camp will look like, and then how cool it will be to play against the US in Vegas?
We've kind of gotten a little bit of a schedule, but I know there's 6 of us here in the States, so the rest of our team will join us. They fly in the 6th of July, and so we'll join them and, have a camp, a couple of days of practice, and then, yeah, play practice games against the US, which will be really exciting. And we play against Nigeria as well before we head to Tokyo.